burnouts. Okay. So wooden slipper, there is one term which is known as composite slipper index. This is actually a number which designates that whether a wood or the timber from where we are manufacturing the slipper, wooden slipper, is suitable for the track or not. So composite slipper index basically provides the mechanical strength of the wooden slipper. It is there is an empirically developed formula where A stands for strength, H stands for hardness, and this S and H corresponds to 12% moisture content. And you probably remember that yesterday I mentioned that no matter what is the source of wood or timber, you need to make sure that moisture content is less than 25%. Otherwise, it cannot be used for the track. So at a particular moisture content, they take the strength value and hardness value, and they use this equation to come up with a value for that particular timber. So that value represent what is the CSI or composite slipper index for a particular timber. This is useful in order to know whether we can use it for the track or not. Now let us see some example. So composite slipper index minimum prescribed for Indian Railways, track slipper, normal railway track, it is 54. Yes, some of the values are really odd. For my exam, you can remember some of those values, but for the competitive exam, it is must that you have to remember those values. So track slipper is 54. Crossing slipper, the one which is going to be used at the crossing location, is 94. You have seen that there are so many lines cutting each other and there are critical locations. These locations where the slipper will be like crossing each other. So we need good timber if we have the wooden slipper. So that's why it is higher, 54, 94. And bridge, again there is no formation, there is a particular structure, superstructure, which is going to take all the load. So here also we want superior quality timber. Okay, so 54, 94, 102. There are certain values, CSI values for well-known timber species, sal, teak, deodar, fir, cheer, and there are many others. I just took some of the examples from the book and other resources. And one thing which I did not mention here, but it is written in the notes section, that if CSI value is going to be less than 82, then we need a special requirement. What is that? So if CSI value is less than 82, okay, so CSI less than 82 means you can understand that it cannot be used for the crossing section, it cannot be used for the bridge section, because for the crossing section minimum CSI is 94, for the bridge section it is 102, but for the normal track minimum is 54. Now I am saying when CSI is less than 82, there should be a special arrangement. So you cannot directly use the wooden slipper. So what do you have to do? Anybody? So you can understand that that particular timber or wood from where you have manufactured the wooden slipper is not of very good quality. So what you need to do in that case? Except treatment or seasoning. We have talked about it already several times. We have seen photos. How many hints do you need? Anybody? Nobody? You need to use the bearing plates. Okay, bearing plates, you know that it is only applicable for the wooden slipper. Because concrete slipper we don't need, cast iron, the steel tower slipper we don't need bearing plate. We have also seen photos where like wooden slipper is placed and at the bottom there is bearing plate, and we have seen that over the time because of the wheel load, higher speed, shock and vibration, the rail goes inside the wooden slipper. So now when we are discussing about the wooden slipper, we know certain property of the material from which it is being manufactured. So we are talking about the timber species. So here we are saying that if the composite slipper index is less than 82, there is a requirement to have a bearing plate in between the rail and slipper. Okay. Now we are moving to the next type of slipper, which is known as steel trough slipper. So trough, yesterday we have seen, it's a special kind of shape, trough. Okay, this is shape of a trough. So why steel trough slipper? There are several reasons. So first one is non-availability of durable timber. So we were not being able to find the trees from where we can get durable timber, which does not need to be treated. So now when it is non-durable timber or which requires treatment, automatically the cost will increase. Okay, so as timber was not easily available, durable timber, so we thought that we need to come up with some other material. The domestic and architectural use of timber. So timber has other uses as well. So for the furniture, for other ornamentals design, we go for the use of timber. So we thought that we have to go for deforestation. So the environmentalists, they were after the railways that why don't you come up with something else. Then poor life of wooden slipper in the tropical region. Now tropical region, I don't know how many of you are familiar with it. If you look at the world map, then there is a line in the middle which is known as equator. There is one more line, very small font, it is Tropic of Cancer. Okay, Tropic of Cancer is going passing through India, here you can see, and this is Tropic of Capricorn. Okay. Now the region in between Tropic of Cancer in northern hemisphere and Tropic of Capricorn in the southern hemisphere is known as tropical region. Okay, so this is the tropical region. So it has been observed that wooden slipper, they have poor service life in the tropical region. Hey, how many of you can see the pen? Is my the writing is visible to you? The
yes,
marking? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So poor life of wooden slipper in the tropical region. So you must have heard the word tropical fruit or other things. Okay. So tropical is nothing but this particular region. Then at the same time, there was a Supreme Court judgment saying that we cannot rely upon the wood because we need to preserve the forest. We cannot encourage deforestation. This is particularly related to India, not across the world. So Indian Railways thought that we need to gradually phase out the wooden slipper, and they have done it. Okay, so then the steel trough slipper concept came. So there is some basic information. So steel trough slipper, broad gauge 81 kg, MG 35 kg. I really doubt this number. Somebody, can you please check this number from other sources? Whether for meter gauge it is 35 kg or not. Okay, now if you look at the weight of the wooden slipper, this is also in the range of 80. Okay, now you can say that this is metal, but why this is still in the range of 80? Now you have to remember this is because of the shape, and the thickness of the metal is such that you will be able to see it is only 2 millimeter sheet. So that's why the weight is in the range of 80 kg. Okay. Average life, it is 40 to 50. Anybody remember what is the average life of wooden slipper?
12 to 15.
Yes, 12 to 15. Yes. Okay, so it is 40 to 50 years. So we can say that this is better than the wooden slipper. Now, there is one more term which is not known to you, which is acceptable slipper for the use in LWR. LWR is nothing but long welded rail. Long welded rail. Long welded rail means instead of putting the fish plates, nuts and bolts at the joints, we do some sort of welding. I am saying some sort of welding means there are several methods of welding. When we will be discussing about the rail joints and welding, you will see that there are 4 common methods which are used in the case of railways. Okay, so when we do the welding at the site, so visibly there is no such joint in between the two rails. You do not need the you do not have the requirement of the fish plates, nuts and bolts. So we do the welding. Now it has been observed that as this is really long rail, because of the temperature variation, there will be accumulation of the stresses that will be getting generated in the rail, and sometimes they bend, and the bend is known as buckling. We have seen one photo that where the Canadian derailment accident happened. You saw like the rail lines were like this. Okay, so this is actually buckling. Why this is happening? Because of the temperature variation, and at the same time maybe the joint was less, but in case of welding, long welded rail, always there will be problem of buckling. But it has been observed that steel tow shipper, they resist the buckling in case of LWR. Okay, it also provides lateral stability. So the kind of devices that we use in order to fix the rail to the slipper, the fastening that we use, those are superb. They are of good quality. So no matter what kind of lateral thrust is coming from the wheel flange, the stability is really good. So when we say lateral stability is good, in that case we can say that there is very less chance that the gauge will be altered over the time. Gauge will be as rigid as possible, as fixed as possible. There is no chance of getting is increased over the time because of the lateral thrust that is coming due to the wheel flange. Then steel tow slipper, there are 2 different types of steel tow slipper. Rolled steel plate. So basically it is steel plate. Okay, 2 millimeter thick. Okay, pressed is the manufacturing process into suitable trough shape. So trough shape, yesterday I have shown you a photo. Rail seat canted to 1:20, which is not very much visible here, but it is canted. Why? Because wheel is, there is coning of wheel 1:20. Now if there is coning of wheel but no canting of the rail seat, then there will be eccentric loading that can be detrimental to the track. So in case of wooden slipper, we go for edging or the cutting of slipper. In case of steel tow slipper, we make sure the manufacturing is such that it is canted to 1:20, and ends are flattened out to retain ballast. So this is some kind of spade shape. You can see spade, all of you have seen spade. So flattened out to retain ballast. So there will be ballast because this is hollow material. So there will be ballast inside it. And yesterday we have discussed that this slipper is good in terms of resisting the creep, because there can be some ballast, some portion of the ballast which is underneath it. There will be ballast up to the top surface on the other side. At the same time, there will be ballast underneath it. So it will be providing very good resistance to creeping. This is one photo. Here you can see cant of rail seat. This is cant. This is cant. This is some dimension. I don't know what it is, but this is gauge, inner distance. Okay, this is fastening. This is end spade. Okay, rail seat. Advantages. Now, whenever we are saying advantages, as we have discussed about wooden slipper, uh, so all the advantages are related to wooden slipper. So longer life, as we said, 40 to 50 years, better lateral rigidity, more stability, free from decay, fire hazard, vermin attack that we have seen problems for the wooden slipper, good scrap value. So no matter whether that particular metal is going to be used or it already reached its service life, there will be some amount you will be getting if you sell those metals, because this is made of steel. Okay, so good scrap value you will be getting, lesser damage during handling and transportation. In some cases, almost no damage. So lesser damage means in case of handling, suppose 80 kg weight, 1 or 2% they are carrying it with their own hands, or they are going to put it in a particular vehicle, train, wagon, compartments. So if it is going to fall, there will be less damage or almost no damage to this particular slipper. Okay, less maintenance problem. The kind of fastening that we use in case of steel tow slipper, it has been observed that we do not need to keep an eye at the fastening of the rail and slipper. Okay, so less maintenance related problem, easy to maintain gauge. As I said that the gauge will not be altered very easily, because the kind of devices that we use in the modern days, they are very nice, very strong, so easy to maintain the gauge. You can expect that there will be less chance that there will be enlargement of the gauge value. Disadvantages, obviously there will be some disadvantages as it is metal. So first one is corrosion. I believe all of you know corrosion is nothing but the gradual destruction of the material when it is basically having a chemical reaction with the environment. So it is gradual destruction. All of a sudden you will not see that there is corrosion. So over the time, as it is going to be used for 40-50 years, you can see that there is corrosion coming up. Unsuitable for track circuiting. Those who were present yesterday, I believe all of you are familiar with track circuiting. As this is metal, so track circuiting is unsuitable. Becomes center bound due to the sloping ends. So center bounds means deflection are more at the ends. Okay, and deflection is less at the center. Rail specific design, which is very much inconvenience. So you have different types of rails, 52 kg, 60 kg. There are UIC section, there are RBS section, there are IRS section. Now you need to make sure that you have rail specific design. Otherwise there will be problem. So this is one of the major disadvantages, and you can see that there can be development of cracks at the rail seat. Rail seat is nothing but the position where you are going to place the rail to fix it to the slipper with those fastening. Okay, and the rail seat will be obviously having a slope of 1:20. Okay, so there is development of crack at the rail seat. So there are two types of steel tow slipper. So let us see them one by one. So this is steel tow slipper. So first one is steel tow slipper with pressed up lugs. So something which is difficult to remember, but this is pressed up lugs, and second one is loose jaws. Okay, so let us see them one by one. So pressed up lugs. So there are lugs or jaws which are pressed out of the plate itself. Plate means the metal itself. Okay, so we'll see a photo in the next slide. So from the metal itself, we are trying to take some portion out and place the rail to accommodate foot of the rail and the key. Key we have seen earlier when we have talked about the chairs. Okay, when we have talked about different types of rail, dumbbell shape rail, bull-headed rails, okay, and then flat-footed rails. So at that time we talked about chair and key. Key is one kind of insert we use in order to have a to make sure that the rail is positioned properly on the top of the slipper. There are several maintenance problems that we see in case of pressed up locks. Give way to movement of keys. Now we are fixing the key in order to make sure that the rail is properly placed on the top of the slipper, but the keys they move over the time because of the shock and vibration impact of the moving load. So now let us see the photo. So this is actually the original slipper. Now we have cut some portion and we have just taken them out in these two direction, and we have made the position for the rail. So we place the rail, we put the key here, we put the key here. Okay, so pressed up lugs. Okay, so maintenance is a problem. What is the problem? Movement of the key will be the major issue. They will be becoming loose over the time, this key and this key. Now there is second type which is more prevalent everywhere. It's known as loose jaws. Okay, last one was pressed up locks. This is loose jaw. This is another design to handle this defect, the defect associated with the keys coming out. So two holes are punched on the either side of the plate. Plate means again the metal seat, nothing which is nothing but the steel trough slipper to accommodate specially designed loose jaws. This is one example of loose jaws. So basically this is inverted position, but if I draw it in a different way, you will be able to see that it has some extended portion like this. So through those holes, this will be going inside. This is going inside. Now this is the loose jaw that we are seeing in the last slide, and here is key. Okay, loose jaw inserted into holes. So this has gone inside the slipper. This is inside the slipper. This is inside the slipper, and these are basically the keys. Two holes are punched on the either side of the plate, accommodate specially designed loose jaws. Rails are held with the help of two standard keys driven into loose jaws. So which is basically given in this particular slide, and this is taken from a book, and I found that there is a spelling mistake. This is LOOAC, loose. There are other photos as well, not very high resolution photo. So here also you can see the loose jaw. This is going inside on the interior portion of the slipper. This is inside portion. This is key. This is key. Okay. Now if you see from the top, then you will be able to see this is the loose jaw. I was drawing picture, so its bottom portion has gone underneath this slipper, and this is the key, though it looks like very small thing here, the key, but this is for larger distance. Okay, so there is specific dimension that we use, that we have for the keys we use in case of steel trough slipper. So here you can see certain dimensions. Here you can see that this particular two-way key has a unique shape. So on one side it is having comparatively lower dimension, on the other side it is having larger dimension. So this is section, this is elevation, this is end elevation. Okay, this is end, and this is the other one, I believe, section X6, somewhere here. And it has been observed that here also we are using keys, but these key do not come out very easily. The reason is that the main fundamental difference between these two is that the first one, in case of the first type, you can see that we are cutting the portion of that particular slipper to insert the rail in the position. Okay, now the slipper, whatever we are putting, over the time when train is moving, they are coming out. But here actually we have some external devices which is nothing but loose jaw, and this portion, the other portion, is going through the hole underneath the slipper. So when we use the key, no matter how far it goes, it provides better stability. They do not come out easily. Okay, so out of these two, the last one is going to solve the problem of the keys coming out. So loose jaws steel tower slipper are better than the Bresta blocks. Then we have something. Then when people came up with the steel tower slipper, at the same time some people were doing experiment with cast iron slipper. Okay, there are several advantages and disadvantages associated with it as well. So in case of cast iron, people saw that there is corrosion, but there is lesser corrosion. So the chemical reaction with the environment is not that much high. Lesser liable to crack at the rail seat. So at the position of the rail, where the rail is placed on the top of the slipper, they can see that there is less amount of cracks getting developed. Easy to manufacture, that was one of the reason it became very popular, and high scrap value. So when the service life is gone, in case of cast iron slipper, again the service life is 40 to 50 years. So people were saying that manufacturing is easy. Now at the end of 40 to 50 years, I am getting higher scrap value than the steel tower slipper. So it was competitor to steel tower slipper. But there are several disadvantages as well. First one is gauge maintenance was quite difficult. So I'll show you what is the reason, but based upon the understanding so far, you can infer that the kind of fastening that we use, those are not really great. Lesser lateral stability, this is similar to related to fastening once again. Unsuitable for track circuiting, this is fine because this is metal, cast iron. Mechanical maintenance. Mechanical maintenance means maintenance with the help of machine. This is very difficult, unsuitable. We will see why it is, and susceptible to breakage as well because this is metal. Okay. So this breakage, I did not mention the point, but this is related to handling and transportation. Okay. So I said in case of steel tower slipper, there is lesser damage or almost no damage if it falls. But in case of cast iron slipper, handling and transportation should be done very carefully because it is liable to break. So there are several types of cast iron slipper. The first one is pot slipper, pot. When I was discussing about the creep in rail, I showed you some photos of the slipper and asked you which one is going to serve the purpose, resist the creeping in rail. So pot is basically there is some kind of pot shape or bowel shape which is hollow in nature. So consists of two hollow bowels or pot, either the shape of circle or ellipse, placed inverted in the ballast section. So inverted, okay, not like this. Okay, this is inverted, connected by a tie bar. So there is a horizontal bar which is joining the other pot with the help of something which is known as cotters and gibs. Okay, so for cotter, gibs, loose jaw, Bresta blocks, I will say that those are actually very good items for the objective type question like multiple choice answer. So you can see that in the competitive exam they ask those kind of question like quarters is related to which slipper. So if you write wooden slipper, obviously it is not related to wooden slipper. Okay, so you have to relate this with respect to the type of slipper that we are discussing. So with the help of quarters and gives, gauge can be adjusted. So you can see that there can be something done in order to make sure that the gauge can be adjusted plus minus 3 millimeters. So in case of broad gauge 1676, so we can make it up to 1673 and 1679. So if there is some problem, we can go for the adjustment. Rail is placed on the top of the pot, so obviously rail will be somewhere here. Okay. Provided with the cant of 1 in 20. So here also you need to provide certain slope with the help of a key. Okay, so you need to use something in order to fix the rail on the top of the pot. Otherwise, there will be no stability. Let us see some photo. So this is pot. Okay. This is the tie bar which is going from this side to the other side. So this is shown as gauge. So gauge starts here and going to the other direction. That's why you can see the tie bar portion is cut here, but it is fixed there. Okay, and they have used something known as clip, always as key. There is one more photo. You can see that this is tie bar. This is the rail. The main problem with the cast iron slipper, pot slipper, is basically the things are hidden. There are many things which you will not be able to see. So fittings are basically hidden. Now whenever fittings is hidden, inspection, maintenance of labor ko bhejo, machine ko bhejo, it will be quite difficult to look at like what is the status of the particular fitting, whether the keys are coming out or whether the quarters and other things are becoming loose. And it has been observed that they are not suitable for curves sharper than 4 degree in case of broad gauge. So it may be related to the curve resistances, that there is extra amount of resistances. So I could not find any solid justification for this, but you people can search for it. But it has been observed that if curve is sharper than 4 degree in case of broad gauge, we cannot go for the use of cast iron pot slipper. So obsolete now, not being used, not being manufactured by Indian Railways. So tie bar, pot. There is one more type which is nothing but known as plate. So pot is replaced by plate. So in case of plate slipper, we have a rectangular plate 865 305, and it says 305 is side is parallel to the rail. So it seems like this is 305, this is 865, this is rail. Okay, so parallel to rail is 305. Now one of the speciality of this plate slipper is that there is a projecting rib under the plate. So if you see the cross section, not from the top, you will be able to see that there is one extra rib which provides lateral stability. Okay, so this will be actually going inside the ballast, and this particular inserted portion, this particular ribs, the projecting ribs, you can see that this one is going to resist the movement of the slipper or movement of the track in the direction of the movement. So plates are held in position with the help of tie bar. So obviously you need a tie bar in order to fix this particular plate to the other plate. Same kind of connection in case of pots. So we use cutters, use gibs in order to fix the two plates. Then we have the one which we have used and we are using it in case of India, which is known as CST9 slipper. Okay, CST stands for Central Standard Trial. Okay, T stands for trial, not test. Okay, and C central, S standard, and ninth is basically the ninth trial. Okay, just like WAP5, so fifth engine. So here also it is ninth trial. So ninth series produced by Central Standard Office, being extensively used. It is very interesting to note that it is combination of pot, plate, and box. So box slipper we have not discussed, but we can understand that in case of pot we have inverted bowel, in case of plate we have a plate like this, and in case of box there will be some sort of box. So this is combination of all three. We will be seeing a photo in the next slide. So consists of two triangular inverted pots. So it is not circle or elliptical, rather triangular inverted pots on either side of the rail seat. A central plate. So central plate, obviously there will be a rib, nil, the projected keel, and a box on the top of the plate. So box, rectangular pot, and the plate, and there is a rib. So this is the photo. So you can see that this is the triangular pot. Okay, then there is plate and there is box. So combination of pot, plate, and box, cast iron slipper. Okay, we have cutter, we have keel or the rib, we have two-way keys that we have seen a photo that it has different cross section at this edge on the other edge. Okay, now here the two plates are connected with tie bar in case of CST9 with the help of four cutters. Slipper, there are two-way keys at each rail seat. There is one findings that you need to keep in your mind, that we use the keys on the side of gauge face. Okay, see there is no key on this side. Okay, rather key is on the other side. Which side? This is basically gauge. How we will be knowing this side is gauge? Because tie bar is cut here, and at the same time you can see the slope of the rail is 1/20 here. So obviously this is gauge size. So gauge size, the key is on this side, not on the other side. Okay. Oh, sorry. Now gauge can be adjusted. In case of pot slipper, we have seen that it is plus minus 3 millimeter that can be adjusted. In case of CST9, which is combination of pot, box, and plate slipper, the gauge can be adjusted up to 5 millimeter. But it has been observed that when Indian government is trying to go for higher speed in case of trains, we are saying that yes, our trains are traveling at a speed of 100 to 120 kilometer, and we are saying that it is working great, which is not good, where in abroad trains are traveling in the speed of 300, 400, 500 kilometer per hour. So anything beyond 120 kilometer per hour, any modern track, there are limitations. What are the limitations? It has been observed the packing. What is packing? Packing is nothing but the interlocking between the stone layers. Okay, we either do it manually or using some kind of vibrator with a mechanical device with some kind of trigger here. We go for the packing. Now this packing become loose under vibration. Obviously, when the train will be traveling at the speed of 140 or 160 or 180 kilometer, there will be more impact, more shock and vibration has to be have to be absorbed by the track, so packing it become loose. Now at the same time, the keys which are on the gauge side, they also become loose and sometimes they come out. So as soon as it come out, you can understand that there is instability. The rail will not be able to sit properly on the top of the slipper surface. Okay, so there are further advancement being made by Indian government. They are trying to see that if we can get rid of this problem of 120 km/h. Then the last one is related to concrete slipper. Now concrete slipper, one thing I have said earlier, that concrete slipper, now where we have heard the reference of concrete slipper, in case of creeping, we have mentioned that the fastening is good, it is heavyweight, and at the same time we said that there can be chances of breakage if it is mishandled. Okay, so let us see some other points. So advantages: being heavy lends strength, stability to the track. So you can understand that when it is in the range of 250 to 300 kg, it will provide huge amount of stability and strength to the track. Stability suitable for LWR, long welded rail, due to resistance to buckling, similar to the steel trough slipper. Maintain the gauge alignment and cross level very nicely. Okay, track circuiting is possible because this is poor conductor of electricity. This is concrete. Okay, so track circuiting is very much possible. It is very easy to detect whether a particular block or a section is occupied with the train or not. Corrosion damage due to paste, fire hazard, it is not possible because this is concrete. Longest life 50 to 60 years. It matches with the rail and slipper renewal. Okay, so rails and slipper, if they are being renewed at the same time or maybe at the common multiple of time, then it is easy for the engineers or the people who are working at the site to do the renewal process. So it is good. It is 50 to 60 years and better mechanical maintenance. So the machine can be used. Only manual labor may not be sufficient because those are heavy. People may not be able to carry them at the site. At the same time, the packing, the people who use it, that they may not be able to do the manual packing. We will see a photo that why manual packing is difficult in case of concrete slipper. So it is very much effective in case of mechanical maintenance. And last one is, it is concrete. So you can use local resources for mass production. So you can go for higher production of this kind of slipper from the nearby places. So this is basically buckling. One more photo I have included. So this happens due to temperature stresses. So this kind of situations will not occur in case of steel trough slipper and concrete slipper. Disadvantages: handling and laying is difficult. This is very heavy, so you need more number of people. Cost increase due to use of mechanical handling process. So as I said that either you allot more number of people, or the other thing is that you go for mechanical handling procedure. You have some JCB kind of vehicle in order to transport them from the factory to the from the plant to the site. So cost will automatically increase because you need to hire them, pay the rental. Heavy damage during derailment. So if train derails, it has been observed for longer distance, the concrete slippers are getting damaged because they are made of concrete. No scrap value. So once it is going to reach the service life at the end of 50 to 60 years, nobody will be interested to buy it. Okay, so you need to dump it somewhere. You can use it under the road construction and other things. Not suitable for beater packing. So this is what I am going to tell now. Beater packing is nothing but this is one sort of manual packing. Okay, manual packing again interlocking, maintaining the interlocking between the ballast layer to make sure that there is no huge amount of voids inside the ballast layer. So this is bitter packing. So bitter packing is basically done with the help of this kind of axe, which is known as pick axe. So in case of manual packing, we use this kind of pickaxe, but you can understand that if the people who are working at the site, they are not very much careful because of the sharp edge, the blunt edge, they can hit the slipper and that can be detrimental to the health of the concrete slipper. Okay, so it is not, that's why it is written not suitable for bitter packing. You can use it for wooden slipper, but you cannot use this kind of axe or this kind of packing methodology in case of concrete slipper. Okay, this is pickaxe. So there are two different types of, there are two different types of concrete slipper that we can see in the modern days. In India, we see this one, which is P-stress monoblock slipper. So you can see that some kind of things are already there just to mark the rail seat. Like there will be the rail positioned, and this is the position of the rail. So this is monoblock, one single block, and this is P-stress, and this is twin block. Here is one block, there is another block, it is joined by a metal. Okay, here you can see the rail seat. Here is the slope of 1:20, 1:20 rail seat. Monoblock, trapezoidal section, cant 1:20, 175 millimeter on either side, center of the rail. Okay, initial pre-stressing of steel, this is 100 kg per square centimeter. Then there are some values related to 28 days crushing strength. Yes, for my course I will not be asking these things, but again competitive exam you need to prepare. So 28 days crushing strength is 525 square kilometer. Then pandroll clips are provided. These are pandroll clips, okay, that we have seen earlier. So this is pandroll clip. Okay, now you can see this is the rail section. This is the concrete section. Now we have some kind of metal going inside the slipper, concrete slipper. This is basically already manufactured. Okay, during the manufacturing time, this is already inserted. So we need this device, which we need to insert with the help of a hammer. So we hit on this side with the help of a hammer, and it goes inside. So as soon as it goes inside, this portion is going to be really tightened. So the rail will be firmly placed on the top of the slipper. Okay, this is the idea of the pandroll clip. So for the monoblock slipper, there are two different types. So PCS 12 for 52 kg rail and PCS 14. So for 60 kg rail, same photo. Then two blocks here you can see, which is not very common in India. So you have one block here, which is another block here. They are joined with a steel bar. So you can see that these are being held because you need to maintain the gauge. If there is no such bar, it will be very difficult to maintain the gauge. Okay, so it is used by the French people. Okay, the advantage is lighter because in the middle there is no concrete. So obviously it will be lighter than standard concrete slipper. And the resistance, they say that it is good. We have not used it in India, but you can see that for a particular block on each side, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 surfaces. So here also you have 4 surfaces. So 4 surfaces of the 2 blocks resist movement better. So let me stop here. Okay, you have one more class after this class. So I will share the slide. Sorry, I did not share the slide yesterday. Now by this evening, I will be sharing all the slides up to this one. Okay. So please read them carefully because there are so many new terms that you need to understand.